But the question that needs to be answered by Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. is, who was Suge Knight talking about that was plotting on him in that interview? Oh, you didn't hear it? Well, come on, let's get some of this straight game.
Black chat. Life is like some cards. It's not what you dealt, but how you play it. Black chat. Play each situation correctly. I remember they used to laugh at a brother.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. It's your boy DELRAY Richardson, platinum artist, platinum songwriter, Straight Game TV. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your time. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, notification, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and tell a friend. But most importantly, if you're new to the channel and you would like to be one of the first people notified when I drop some of this straight game, please do me a favor and hit the bell notification right below this video. I'm going to get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, I've recently come across some very important information that I think has been overlooked. You know me, I come with the evidence, with the facts, with the documentation, with the video or audio presentation or demonstration, should I say, in regards to what I'm going to talk about. So to let you know that I'm not just saying things, I'm also going to give you the facts that back up what I'm saying, right? And so just the other day, we heard Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. Talk about his birthday. And we seen him talk about how much money he was getting and how well he was doing in his attempt to try to sway you into believing that I'm somehow not 10 toes down and on my grind, right? But this pathetic attempt to ask for money, I call it YouTube panhandling, if you will, for his birthday. Happy birthday, Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. Yeah, that's about it. That's all we really, truly, honestly owe in respect, right? And you would think that in return that you would get, thank you, man, I appreciate that. But not from Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. No. He attempted to somehow panhandle money through Cash App. And the sad part about it is he couldn't even remember his own Cash App. That's how I'm going to start this video. But what I'm about to get into more importantly in regards to Reggie the Rat Wright Jr., and the reason why I say that, the reason why I call him a rat, is because he attempted to tell you guys that I somehow, some way, in which I admit was involved in the street pharmaceutical game back in the day, right? He wanted you to know that as if that tarnished my reputation or somehow damaged my credibility. And notice I've never really talked about that. I didn't have to because I actually did it, right? When you're doing it and when you've done it, you don't have to talk about it. I'm no longer involved in that lifestyle, to be clear, but I once was. Went to prison, did my time, and I ain't tell on a soul. The police asked me, I do remember, let me share this. The police had asked me, he said, yeah, you know, if you got any information that you want to tell us, you know, we can make it go light on you, right? You know what I told him? Man, take me to my motherfucking cell, man. Because I got to walk the streets again. And I can't walk the streets knowing that I've snitched and told on somebody. That's just me. And I was a youngster. I was in my teens when that happened. Right? I don't need to talk no more about that. Because I didn't talk about it to the police. I don't need to talk about it to people that didn't know me at that particular time. I'm a stand-up dude. And I learned that at a very young age. You telling on somebody else is not going to lighten your load. It may lighten your load with the law, but with the people who really matter, your family, your friends, your confidants, you knew what you was getting into when you got into it. So you thinking now giving somebody else up is going to make you not culpable for your behavior or responsible or accountable for your behavior? So when Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. attempted to tell you about my past, that's tantamount to dry snitching, right? Because he wants you to think different about me. But let me tell you this. The question that I have to ask you is, who did Suge Knight say that was plotting on him? This interview I just came across, some people may have and may not have heard it, but it wasn't widely disseminated, if you will, for some reason. But it was also part of the interview where Suge Knight actually said that he had asked for the 5 security guards in Vegas to come be around Tupac. And where Suge Knight also said that Reggie Wright took the security off of Tupac in Vegas that night. These are facts, y'all. I'm not even going to play the interview again because I think y'all got it. You know what? Let me do it again. Here it is right here. This is the part of the interview that I'm talking about. Listen.
There was a plan already to do something to him. Yeah. And that's why, like I said, I had 2 of the toughest guys for him, and Reggie pulled them off of me. It didn't have to happen. I told him to send 5 guys from the club to there, and they never sent nobody.
But I recently heard the other part of the interview. And the crazy part about it is as Reggie Wright continues, or Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. continues to come on YouTube, right, and act as if he's speaking for Suge Knight, on the behalf of Suge Knight, or in favor of Suge Knight, it is the most disingenuous thing an individual can do. Based on the fact that Suge Knight said that Reggie Wright, I don't know about anybody else in this video that he said that was plotting on him, right? You know, I don't know anything about that personal info. But what is ironic is because Reggie Wright was the head of Death Row Security, right? And as we know, he failed Tupac in Vegas. He failed Suge in Vegas. And you heard what Suge just said when he asked for the security guards, that Reggie didn't send them. You heard him just say that once again, that Reggie, right, pulled the security off of Tupac. That is 100% a fact. But this part right here really hit home with me because it led me to think about another video I had did, and then it puts the pieces of the puzzle together for me. I don't know about for you, but I comprehend and I listen well. Suge Knight said that Reggie was plotting on him. The same guy that was responsible at one time for protecting him. But then Reggie Wright has also, like I told you, came out and called Suge Knight a snitch. And then in the same breath, like I said before, would attempt to try to talk about anybody that said Suge Knight's name as if he was coming to Suge Knight's defense. That's a lie, y'all. That's misleading, y'all. That's being manipulative, y'all. That's being deceitful, y'all. Because Suge Knight said it right here, right now. Listen to this. Suge Knight said that Reggie was plotting on him. And like I said, I don't know about anybody else in regards to what Suge is saying. He may have a little bit more information in regards to that, right? But the point that I'm focusing on at this particular part is what he said about Reg. He said Reg was plotting. It was plotting on me. Listen.
Perez and them was all involved. They were trying to kill me too, but see, because Perez and Reg was good friends, and Perez and Sarita and Reg is great friends, and so all those three together was trying to plot, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Russell got it right before he died.
So, yeah.
Remember I told y'all about the fake bogus corporation that Reggie set up, the Simon Says publishing corporation? Remember I told you that was named identically after Suge Knight's publishing company that he had with ASCAP, the one that collects all the royalties for the publishing that Suge Knight had owned and accumulated from the artists that he had signed to Death Row, right? It came full circle for me, because the publishing company that Reggie claimed that he owned didn't own any assets. So what was he going to do? Had anything happened to Suge Knight? Was he going to jump out in the blue and said, oh, I own it? Because remember, he said he owned Dash Publishing. He didn't. I proved that fact. There were no assets under that bogus company or corporation that Reggie Wright formed. There was no assets. Once again, Reggie Wright has been back on YouTube trying to convince you that he did deals, right, in regards to Death Row, and where he cannot show you not one document that he signed in which he implemented any kind of deals. So when I heard this part of the interview in which Suge Knight said that Reg, they was plotting on me, it was so sad. It was so sad. Because Suge Knight, among more than anything, if he gave somebody an opportunity, it was Reggie. It was Reggie. He gave him an opportunity to be able to be the security for Death Row, in which we know now that he failed. You said, well, DELRAY, you said that. No. I got a little something else for you. Did you see the interview on Camp Capone the other day with Napoleon? Now, mind you, Napoleon had done a few other interviews that Camp Capone had released. Reggie didn't have anything to say about those interviews. But the interview in which Napoleon came out and said that himself and the outlaws, or the outlaws, were at the hospital after Tupac had got shot. Gobi, I believe Gobi had came out and said something in regards to that they were acting as security for Tupac Shakur. This is a fact, y'all. Reggie then in turn took Camp Capone's video and did a jive-ass response to what Napoleon was saying. Y'all didn't catch that, did you? You said, well, what do you mean catch that? He didn't say nothing about the other interviews that Napoleon did, but he said something about the part when Napoleon talked about the outlaws being security at the hospital for Tupac. And I'm going to ask you this. Where was Reggie Wright's security company? We seen Suge Knight was walking around outside of the hospital after he had got released with the little patch on side of his head, right? Wasn't Suge supposed to be surrounded by security? Some kind of protection? Nowhere in sight. So not only had Reggie Wright Jr.'s company failed Suge Knight on the night of the 7th of September 1996, but even at the hospital, when the pressure was on, when people knew some stuff but they didn't know all the stuff, Reggie Wright Jr. or Reggie the Rat Wright Jr.'s security company was nowhere to be found. And what proved that fact, remember I told you, when you throw a stone behind a pack of dogs, the one that got hit is the one that hollers. So when Napoleon did that video in regards to them doing security, or the Outlaws doing security at the hospital, Reggie got hit with that truthful information. And so what he did was he responded and he hollered back through the video that he did using Camp Capone's interview of Napoleon talking about that. Y'all see the guilt coming through? Y'all better listen to what I'm trying to tell you. I ain't come to tell you no lies. I'm paying attention and hoping that you are too, right? So when I listened to the other part of this interview involving Suge saying that Reg was plotting on me, it broke my heart. I was like, wow, why would Suge say something like that, right? And like I said again, I'm going to say, I don't know about the other people or if any part of that, but the part where he said about Reggie was the part that I was focused on, because once again, Suge gave Reggie an opportunity. Reggie said that he was running the company. Remember, he said that. He said he was when Suge went to jail, I was running the company. Well, we know that's not true. I already proved that one too with the deposition paperwork that I showed you guys. We know that's not true. He was a middleman / liaison. That's all he was, right? Which is not a bad thing. But to put yourself in as running the company and you can't show us any documents that you signed facilitating any kind of deal, contracts, or anything, you didn't run anything. And we know that for a fact based on this deposition paperwork once again, right? But he's going to continue to tell you that he was doing this and he was doing that. His boy Gullible John over there, he's going to try to back it up. This is the only thing that they have. And they're hoping that you keep falling for it. So think about it. Suge Knight says that Reg was plotting. Wow. That's a hell of an accusation for somebody who Reggie's supposed to come out and try to protect or act like he's protecting. And let me add this. Reggie Wright Jr. does not speak for Suge Knight. Suge Knight has family members who love him and who can accurately speak on his behalf. Right? Reggie Wright just tried to come out and comment on Art of Dialogue video. He tried to comment on the video that he watched that I did, as if his opinion, in which he usually has no information about regarding that, is somehow more important than the facts. But like I just told you before, this was new information to me. And the part that hit me the most was he tried to discredit me. You can't discredit me and you on YouTube begging for birthday money. How? Y'all ain't paying attention. He got it going on. Mr. Reggie Wright. I'm doing good. I'm good over here. But yet you panhandling on YouTube for birthday money through Cash App. You need to stop, man. What grown man does that? What grown man does that? So when you, once again, you throwing stones and you hiding your hand, and then attempting to say that you didn't just throw a stone when you threw it. That's the crazy part. But more importantly, Suge Knight says Reg was plotting. Your boy DELRAY, straight game.